So I'm here with the latest Top Trader SA podcast episode. It is the one featuring Leadership Montla, and I'm here where the Forex talk actually begins. So let's get into it.
An amazing guy now, him and I know each other now. So I reached out to him, I can't really, because I'm trying to have a one-on-one with the master.
Yeah.
I don't want the class filled up. I want to have a one-on-one with the master. You sit me down, I sit you down, or whatever, you show me this.
Why was that so important for you?
Because if it's real, I wanted to just hear it from the horse's mouth one-on-one,
But if you're sitting in a class, though, you're not going to hear it from the...
Bro, I wanted this thing straight. I wanted to just... I was willing to, because I had some bit of cash, I was willing to pay the guy to come to my house or somewhere, but because I had questions to ask, like, are you serious? This thing works. Like, I think I was so eager, I would have asked him, like, can I see your bank account then?
Yeah.
So, I didn't able to get a hold of those, so I ended up submitting to a class. And then, but after learning how to trade over a lot of YouTube videos, and I'm like, the only guys that were doing class at the time, who I actually had with steer was Jason. And I'm like, let me actually go meet these people in person. So I wasn't necessarily going there to learn. I just wanted to just see if it's real. I was actually late that day. Get there, Jason, now I see his car. The guy was dripped out to the pit. Like, he was looking fine, looking all good in a tuxedo. I think that day his mom was there. He was driving the Porsche. And I'm like, yo, man, sorry I'm late. It's like, no problem. Today's day 1. So you paid up until day 3. I'm like, oh, okay. 3 days. Cool. I arrived when the session was done. He offered me food. I had something to eat. I got back into the taxi. I had to go to Pretoria, so I got back to the taxi. Took a car train back to Johannesburg. And the next day I was there on time. And yeah, man, I sat there. I obviously had the session. And I realized, okay, I'm on the right track based on the lot of information that I was teaching myself from YouTube and stuff, because I was also following a guy called Forex Gentleman. I don't know if he's still around now on social media. And I thought, okay, cool, I'm on the right track, And then through that class of Jason that we had, I was able to have a couple of Forex friends from that group, because we made like a group chat, So I met a couple of people through the group. And then that's how I met DJ Melzi.
Oh, yeah.
So I met Melzi like that. And then me and Melzi became really good friends because we were learning to trade together, and he was doing his music and he was still in school. So I was pushing to stick in school, to stay in school and, do his music as well. He's always been like a music guy from long before I even knew him. He was always done music. Every Sunday we'd go over to his house. He'd take out his CDJs or whatever, put them outside, and he'd just play music for us and his mom, and she was having lunch, So he was trying to, I guess, push through, make a lot of money through Forex, and then maybe to fund his music career, or vice versa. I don't know what was his intention, or you're just trying out something really new. Because Melzi loved money. He's always been somebody who's, loved money. Even now he's got I think he's even got like a water business and stuff. So yeah, man, that's how I stepped into Forex, man. And I started pushing, and I started trading, losing here, winning there.
Do you remember your first deposit?
Yeah, I think it was like 300, 200. Rands, yeah.
Okay.
Or even less. But I know the money was not any of the cash that I had when I came back overseas. By the time I started understanding Forex, I was already broke. I already ate that 100,000 I came back with. Because it wasn't a lot, man. I came back already spent like 40,000 family.
Yeah.
And the rest...
And that's when you realize money is...
It was the first time I was broke in about 8 months.
Yeah.
Since I went to Spain, and I was used to money because obviously I'm a Tunisian and stuff like that. And I got overseas, I started making an income. So, yeah, man, I started relying on my granny, again, my grandfather again, Sasa money again, and yeah, my deposit was somewhere around 200 or less, or just somewhere back and forth,
Yeah.
And then, yeah.
What happened to the 200?
Why?
What happened to the 200 that you...
I know, blue. No, man, blue. I don't even think I knew what I was doing.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, like I knew, I was still so confused. I was still trying to understand as a trader.
Yeah.
I know, blue. I don't remember the exact trading history. Did it blow instantly? Did it blow after a couple of days? I can't remember properly, man. That was like 9 years ago, but yeah, I blew.
Yeah, you blew.
Yeah, nah.
So as the journey keeps going, what happens with the trading right now? Because I can imagine right now you need money to fund your accounts. So what goes on?
So I've always been like a hustler, So like I said, my granny was selling fat cakes. So I was getting a lot of my capital I was getting from either my friends, my granny, my grandfather, So I start making little bit of cash because now I had a really good friend. His name is Isham. So Isham was an Indian friend of mine or Muslim friend of mine. Till today we speak. And he actually is the guy that taught me how to shoot, you know. Crazy. We used to go to a shooting range together as a kid. So I always ask him for money. So he actually helped me a lot. I would ask him for cash, like 1,000, and he would give me, bro, to fund. I blow it to fund. So that was my main my capital was based around there. And Isham was actually like, he would call me, Ish, Messi, did you blow that money again, bro? Ish, okay, it's fine. Now I'll make a plan for you. Okay, then you can try. Or, you know, like, so he helped me a lot. Sometimes I'd even ask him for money for other stuff, knowing that I want to fund. You know, and started seeing small profit, but not like serious stuff. And then small. And then at the time, there were certain accounts that you would get that come with like bonus, starting off bonuses and stuff like that, you know. I relied on those a lot. And then, yeah, man, I think that's because I remember my very first withdrawal. Yeah, it was like $200. No, like 170 something. And then I took it out. I'm like, yo, okay. Then I put it back in. Then I started growing it slowly though. I think I never withdrew for a long time. But I remember very well because I remember having about 28,000 under my mattress. Cash.
Why?
That I withdrew to my F&B. Then I had to prove to my grandfather that this thing works.
So
yeah, I put it there.
But
before I could show him,
yeah,
he found it because we slept in the same bed. Me and my grandfather in that back room where I went back. So if I leave first, he makes the bed. He leaves first, I make the bed. That day, I don't know what he was doing under the mattress or under the fitted sheets or something. And then he found the money. He called me, told me to come home. And bro, you know that guy almost beat me up. Like, why am I getting? And I was explaining in fear. Papa, it's that Forex thing. And he was so angry. But yeah, from there, bro, it's been great ever since. I think the experience, not great, it hasn't been a roller coaster. I mean, it hasn't been smooth, but it's been an amazing roller coaster. From there, yeah, I found my niche in life. I think I found a slight purpose. Never had a passion for it. I had to somehow give up football, yeah.
Yeah. Can we talk about Forex wealth?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Forex Kings or Forex...
Is it Forex Kings or Forex Wealth? Which one is it?
Forex Kings, my company, my previous company.
Was it Kings?
Yeah, Forex... No, not Forex Kings. Forex Kings was Jason. I was Wealth Kings.
Wealth Kings.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Jason was Wealth...
Now the tea is starting. I'm not sure if you guys can remember Wealth Kings, but I remember Wealth Kings with the black AMG that they had, A45 AMG. And then the logo still had wings in it. So, yeah, I remember Wealth
Kings. And then
Wealth
I'm
Kings,
Wealth Kings. Yeah. Wealth Kings, man. I loved that company. Wealth Kings founded it exactly... Which year was 2018? Mid-2018. So about a year and a half into my trading,
Okay.
I had been already sharing knowledge with people, like my cousins, my friends, you know, like Sheikhs, for example, you know, a lot of other people. Well, Sheikhs was still playing soccer. I was not interested at the time. A lot of people, though, I was sharing a lot of knowledge with them, you know. And what inspired the company was actually inspired by Forex Kings. So Jason Noah's company. So I had seen how Jason Noah teaches people, and I was like, yo, this guy really is actually making a genuine impact on people's lives. And I was wondering, okay, can I?
Funny how he was inspired by Jason to start Wealth Kings, right? And then he ended up getting an FSCA warning, the same like Forex Kings. Funny, no?
Can I trade Twitch maybe? Then I used to guide a lot of the students that Jason had in his groups. They would come to me for advice, like ask me, oh bro, how did you take this trade? So I was guiding a lot of people like that, you know, without...
Not Asherah's breaking one of the 48 laws of power, which is don't outshine your master. First off, he admits his master is Jason. That is where he got taught Forex by. That is where he got inspired by to start Wealth Kings. And then he throws Jason under the bus by saying, you were cat mentor, your people came to me for help.
Me knowing, I realized that I was slowly just becoming their mentor, like guiding them, you know. I met a lot of people like that. And then, yeah, I think I spent like a couple of months just guiding those people. And I was also growing. Would have like trading sessions, would link up and stuff like that. And then I decided about a year, 6 months, I was like, okay, Wealth Kings. I think a year, 6 months, or just over a year. Like Wealth Kings, and then started my own company. Initially, at first, what did I want to do? I just wanted to do classes. I just wanted to teach people, but I was focused. I wanted the people from Ekasi who don't have opportunities. I wanted to teach those people, you know. And at the time, I think
when I'm telling you, they are targeting people from the ghetto, from the hood, from the Kasi, lower income people, ne? Don't tell me I'm lying, because here it comes from the horse's mouth.
I don't know how much I was charging people, but yeah, I don't remember. I think it was like 1.5, 3K, or 2K. I don't remember. But yeah, I wanted people from the hood, because those are the people because I wanted to show the people that if it's, here's the thing, you don't need to be at an office, you don't need anywhere, you can work from wherever, you know. In the beginning, I didn't believe forex trading was for rich people or whatever, you know. I just felt like people that were in poverty could use it as an element of growth, you know what I mean? And yeah, man, that's when I started. Anyway, and I was so impressed. That company just went skyrocket, bro. Yeah.
So, Wealth Kings there, you move with that. 2018, 2019, popularity, you become more popular.
Yeah, bro. Like, so, and remember, all this time when I started, I was never a popular person. So now I start teaching people. Somehow now, I've got followers. You know, like, people are recognizing me. It's a big motion now. Like,
yeah.
Oh, okay. Like, now it's getting more serious than I thought. You know what I mean? 2019, it comes in, you know, literally there's like, I'm touring like crazy now, you know, I'm trading and touring and tutoring, do live tradings. I'm touring from Limpopo to throughout Cape Town. I'm not even home, bro. I'm like teaching all over the country. I am in demand. I had 3 assistants at the time, you know, and 2 assistants and 1 manager who ran the business and ran everything. It's like to a point where my family sometimes couldn't get a hold of me, you know. I was always on the road. I'm in Bloemfontein, so I would go like Cape Town, Durban, Bloemfontein, Knysna, like, bro, Namibia, Botswana, you know, Tanzania. It was really crazy, you know. I spent so many months on the road, 2018, 2019. And then, 2020 early, I felt like, hey, I was tired.
Yeah.
I had exhausted myself. I felt burnt out. I felt like I was a bit burnt out way before COVID. And, I dropped the ball.
So how does one actually balance? At this point, are you even trading? Are you still trading at this point because you're so busy?
Look, so at that time, I don't know about traders nowadays, but at that time, it was very important that you trade. You know, at that time, the only thing you could do was trade. And at that time,
Facts.
it didn't matter how much money you made.
Facts.
You know, you could always share, you could be transparent. It wasn't about making millions every day. You know, whether you're making 5,000 a day, it was fine, or 5,000 a week, it was fine. So I was trading consistently. And because the company wasn't making enough money to run my own team. So all the amounts that I was charging.
What?
Yeah.
It's for real.
The company was not making. So think about it. I'm flying with a team of 6. I'm flying all over the country. Understand? These people are earning salaries, and I was paying a fortnight. Everybody was earning at the time. My manager was earning about. Actually, no, she might watch this. Let me not say that.
Yeah.
You know, but she doesn't work with us anymore. But yeah, she was.
He wanted to give an inflated number there. Then he realized, now she's watching. She's going to correct. And then people will know I paid them peanuts.
Was the highest paid in the team, let me just say. There were so many salaries, so many expenses. So our take home, we had offices as well.
On that note of the touring, right, I just wanted to say this. I believe that it's a complete lie where he says that the company didn't bring in enough money to be able to pay the salaries, right? So he said that he's flying around the country with a team of 6. Now, I need to be very, very precise with you guys here. Back in the day, how they used to do it, right, is they would post up a schedule of how they're going to tour, right? And all of the dates that didn't get that much interest, all of the dates that weren't fully booked, they would just scrap it. So he didn't go to a place where less than was needed for him to get there was booked. What I'm trying to say is that to whichever location he went to, right? That is the sold out location. That is the location where a lot of people came to, because he's not gonna go if he doesn't have accommodation and traveling costs. And let's be real, how they charged back in the day, it would just cost a mere 5 or 6 clients, and then he would have enough for transport and enough for accommodation for his whole team. So that just needed to be clarified, that they would upload a schedule and the dates and locations that doesn't get that much interest and where people haven't paid that much, that gets scrapped.
Offices, but we had a house that we use as an office,
Okay.
a very big house, and expensive. It was just a lot of stuff, and the company was catering for a lot of people, like a lot. So I don't think I even saw the money from Wealth Kings, It was just like, whew.
That is crazy, because I think obviously we know during that period, that time, that classes.
Did he just say he didn't see the money from Wealth Kings?
So many salaries, so many expenses. So our take home, we had offices as well. Not even offices, but we had a house that we use as an office, a very big house, and expensive. It was just a lot of stuff, and the company was catering for a lot of people, like a lot. So I don't think I even saw the money from Wealth Kings, It was just like, whew. I don't think I even saw the money from Wealth Kings, It was just like, whew.
That is crazy.
So leadership, just clarify this for me. First, you say the business wasn't doing so good to a point where you couldn't even pay salaries, or the salaries isn't coming from the business only, it comes out of your pocket. But then here you're saying now that the business is catering for so many people. I'm thoroughly confused.
Because I think obviously we know during that period, that time, that classes and a lot of people made a killing.
Now we made money, bro, but I don't think I saw the money. I don't think I can go back and be like, here's what I've done with that.
Yeah.
I did this. I think on my side, it all just flew out on the road, bro. The things we were getting up to, who were traveling. So if because I never used my own personal money for anything that had to do with getting out the house.
Okay.
So anything that had to do with like going to Cape Town, doing classes, I never touched my personal. I always had my own trading going on outside of whether my grocery in the house. For as long as it included me and my team, I didn't touch my personal funds. They knew everybody, it's just a shake stepped out. There was a point where everybody had a copy of a card of the business bank account in my entire management. Both my assistants, my manager, myself, and even my bodyguard at the time had a copy of that specific bank account that Wealth Kings had with FNB. I'd allow them. There were certain allowances they were allowed to have access to, and stuff like that. So, I don't know. Maybe I wasn't advised right. I know a lot of people who did right with that, invested in the right places. But also, I didn't see myself traveling, doing that for too long, because I was getting exhausted. It was affecting my training, because I was traveling a lot, bro. And I was doing small town classes. So you would do, let's say you go to Cape Town, you do Cape Town. I'll go to Stellenbosch. I'll go do a wall in Khayelitsha. I go to Durban. I go to Stanger. I did a class in Stanger in the rurals.
You see again what I'm telling you guys, when I'm telling you all that they are targeting the low income earners, they are targeting our poor people. Don't argue me on it. Their marketing material lets me know who they are targeting. Their price lets me know who they are targeting. And here you hear it.
I've done one in Newlands in Durban. I'll go to Limpopo, I'll go into Zanin and Gevend, I'll go to Mosina. So I had to go into a province and break it down. I get into, if I go to Northwest, Rustenburg, there's Mafeking, there's Daung, so that's how the business, I always found myself on the road, and that's how the business grew. That's how my name became very prominent, because my initial purpose was actually to empower, bro. I was genuinely empowering, and I found myself, there was a point I didn't have a place to stay, you know that?
Okay.
Like my lease finished where I was renting, because I was on the road so much, I just put my furniture into storage. And we just stayed on the road till COVID hit. When COVID hit, we came home. And when I started to go home, I realized, So I contact the landlord. I'm like, yo, listen. No, man, let me just send you this money quickly. He's like, okay, cool. So I pay like 12 months upfront rent and I get into the house. But that's not how hectic it was, you know. But the best thing with that is that the circle I had was a trading circle.
Okay.
They were fully Forex inspired as well. So we traded a lot. We did a lot of trading. We lost a lot of money also.
Yeah. What was your style of trading around that period?
It was still technical.
Okay.
It was technical. There was a word called major key.
Ah, yes.
There was a word called major key. I still don't believe I've ever traded like that, but I've understood the major key and I've always added it. At that time, I used to always add it into my trading style.
It's funny that he says he never traded it like that, but he added it to his trading style. So what is it? Did you trade with it or not? Because it seems like you were talking down on Major Key, and I know for a couple of years Major Key was the hottest thing in the forex streets. So which one is it there, Montla? Please just let us know, my friend, because you are giving really mixed reviews now. First you say you don't think you have used it like that, but then you've incorporated it into your strategy. How? Do you think we fools, my brother?
But yeah, obviously now I don't think it's valid now.
Some would beg to differ. I mean, I was with
Don't think it's valid now.
Japan recently from
Yeah.
Go Forex.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he still trades the major key.
He still trades the major key. That's crazy.
It is crazy.
Yeah, that's great because I haven't traded the major key in a lot of years. But I've how I trade now. I've definitely added it into my trading style
Somehow.
I've like diluted it into my trading style, but I'm not a full on major key anymore.
Yeah.
But major key was the trading style.
It was a thing.
That was a strategy back then. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so now COVID hits. It's 2020 at this point. We're indoors. But we all know that during COVID, Forex is up now. Very up. Everyone's trying to make money from home now.
A friend of mine the other day were talking about our COVID era.
Yeah.
Eric Tower Maton. And we were saying that, bro, we had the best trading time during COVID. We would camp at each other's houses. And then you would wake up in the morning from maybe, if I'm at his house, you'd wake up in the morning with the balcony. He'd be like, hey, Maranga Panda. Maranga Panda means leadership in Venda.
Okay.
It's like, hey, Maranga Panda. Hey, no, you want a goldie? Then I'm like, hey, King, I saw it. He's like, I'm in. I'm like, hey, I'm also in, you know?
Yeah.
So COVID was the best time to trade. I went broke during COVID.
Okay.
Because I made a couple of bad financial decisions that went broke, extremely broke during COVID because I did place my money on some stuff that didn't work out. Businesses that were running in COVID, like your masks and stuff, sanitizers. Okay. Yeah, I got hit. I lost a lot of money during COVID. And I went broke. I would say I went broke. And Eric Mato, actually, the legendary soccer player from Kaizer Chiefs, he's one of the guys that helped me come back. I was just chilling with him at his house. And
Yeah, you're hearing it out of the horse's mouth. He went broke. But when I say it, I'm a hater. When I say it, I'm preying on people's downfalls. You know, but hey, when Rydall comes, it's a problem. But I'm just glad that he's admitting these things so that you guys can see I've never spoken cack on anyone, especially when it comes to him.
And I had a bit of cash, but I didn't have enough. And he's like, man, how's everything? I'm like, man, I made an investment in March and now it's bad, but I'm trading. So I was trading, but I was making small cash, like 10,000 a week and stuff, you know. I was not the way I knew money, like, you know, where I wouldn't check the price. I had like 20, 30K. So he gave me a certain amount of money. But I had taught him how to trade way back. So I taught him how to trade like 2019. So he had been trading throughout. I taught him how to trade really well. He was really profitable. And then he was very shocked to see me as his mentor, you know, experience a challenge. And I explained to him, it's like, yeah, no. Then we actually reached out to the people that actually, like, I'd say the business for fair I had a fallout on. I don't think they ate my money.
Hey, you think so?
Yeah, they're not me, those people.
COVID times is a
They
tricky
gave me
time,
crazy promises because I had put down just over half a M, bro.
Okay.
And they gave me crazy promises. And I kept dropping more cash. But yeah, it's cool, it's fine. I give them to God. You know, and then yeah, Eric Mato really helped me with a certain amount I funded, and I remember what trading, bro. What trading. If I could show you, I still have the chats on half. If I could show you the screenshots that we have and trading histories from that time during COVID, 2020, how I built myself back to just staying in the house. I also had to sell some of my cars to build up capital. You know, that's the car that the late
Easy.
Yes,
Oh, yes.
easy. So when I was experiencing financial problems, I sold the car.
Oh, yeah.
I sold my brothers, you know.
Yeah.
I sold my brothers, and Easy actually bought it the next day. He
Yeah,
saw
it's
it.
quite as
That
quite
was a
a
crazy coincidence,
Yeah.
you know. He saw it.
Wait, so leadership wanted to sell it today, and then the next day, Easy bought it. Now Easy was trolling, but
I think he when we had an argument, and because we had a back and forth on social media, and then when I drove out one night, midnight, 1 a.m. in the morning, I drove out to his house. He stayed somewhere in the east, I think. Is it east?
Yeah, I know, in the
Yeah,
East,
in the
correct.
east, and we spoke. I'm like, Fitz, you bought my car, Fitz, but why did you post about like that, trying to make it look like I'm broke? I mean, I was broke, but I wasn't down low. I still had a Golf 7. I drove to him in my Golf 7, you know. And he's like, I saw it, we apologize to each other, you know. And he's like, I know.
you guys must stop it with these confusing stories, because if you have a friend that's helping you out financially, you are down. If you have someone that is dropping thousands on you because you can't get to your shit, you are down. Accept it for what it is.
In my head, I'm like, ish. This guy, bro, you know? So, yeah, that's how Easy actually bought the car. And yeah, man, I used the money to actually fund my career again. I sold a car. I had like one car left, sold my cars. And then at the time that Eric Mator borrowed me money, he was really just pretty much replacing the money that I was using to trade. So I would probably fund like 20K, and he gave me probably 20K, and then to replace the one that I used. So yeah, man, June, July, that's when I started building.
If that man gave you 20K, then you were most really out, my bro, man. Also, if he's replacing something, then that means the first set is gone. So you blew that first 20K. How?
Literally, I camped with these guys. We were just trading camp till December. We were trading.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, US Open, US States, like everything. Asian Open, London. Like we knew we were killing it. Back then, 3:30 was 3:30.
Yeah. Hey.
Premium 3:30. You know, the one we know. You know what I mean? Hey, bro, it's almost CPI. Eh? I don't want to miss the entry point. What time is it?
What time is it?
It's 1:30.
Oh, no. It's fine. Yeah. But yeah, you know, so yeah, back when 3:30 was 3:30, you know, Isaac will tell you about the 3:30. I think I don't know if he shared the story of 3:30, but Isaac is the most crucial 3:30 trade I've ever seen.
Oh, yeah.
New York Open.
Yeah.
Isaac. Jesus, bro. That guy used to make crazy money. Like, I'll go to his apartment and he'd be like, but I do. It's almost time. And this guy would just goes in, maybe funded like 20K, flipped at 100,000, you know, and at the time, we still had those accounts with 100% drawdown. Remember that actually existed at some point, you know, back then. And the guys would kill it like so. That's how our circle was. We were very forex trading, and we actually traded. Same time as Amanja, I don't know if they're trading, but I think the ones I know they are trading. But people traded a lot back then. You know, like a lot, bro, a lot. Yeah, that's. Interesting, yeah.
You're having flashbacks.
Yeah. Hey, bro.
Yeah, and then we get to 20. This is 2020. Y'all are trading. Things are good. I think we get to. Because you know what you're mentioning right now, and I can imagine it must have been a really tough time for you, because you said right now you were selling your cars. Things you're down low, and obviously there's a public perception that you need to deal with at this point.
There is, bro. I'm a big name at the point, and people look up to me. And I've sold cars before that, but not because I was going broke. I sold cars because I just didn't want the car anymore, you know, or I was trading it in, you know, like the A45. I traded it in for a different car, you know. So when I had to sell, so I knew that me selling a car would not affect me personally, like me as an individual. I wouldn't feel the difference because I need to use the money for trading. But when people looked at me, I knew that people would think differently, you know. So I didn't really care because I wasn't really concerned of whether people think. I wasn't trying to that will play my image, you know. It's my journey. I wasn't speaking much on it, but if somebody...
I like how he's saying he doesn't want to double plate his journey, yet he is the father of fake it till you make it. I like how he doesn't want to double plate his journey, but he would literally get on every podcast and say that he pretended to be what he is not so that people won't figure out where he was from and that he was living in a back room. So, yo, guys, the lies, the inconsistencies.
Somebody asked me to next day, where's the bravas? I'm like, I'll just say, Easy bought it. I sold it to this dealership and Easy went and bought it. If they asked me, why did you buy it? If I was in...
First, you put it on for sale. Easy bought it the next day. Now Easy bought it from a dealership. I don't know which dealership would buy that car, especially seeing that it's a fake Brabus. It wasn't a real Brabus. You know that. Sure.
And then if I'm comfortable enough, I would have told them, like, yo, I went through some financial decision and I sold the car. I'm in a financial situation, I sold the car, you know. So, but so that for me, it never really affected me. Me selling the cars never. Personally, at that time, I'd owned about 7 cars and I'd sold a back and forth and traded in a couple of cars from 2017 until 2020, you know, just because I wanted to and stuff. So having to sell, I sold like 3 cars because I was going broke. It never affected me. Like the absence of the cars never really did. I actually appreciated having my money back. You know? So just, yeah, the people spoke, the people judged as usual. But I also kind of knew my brand and I knew the backlash that was coming. And I anticipated it, man. It never really affected me. I was in a relationship at the time. The girlfriend at the time, yeah, I would say she was supportive as well, you know? But yeah, it never really affected me. I think what really annoyed me would be people trying to make it look like I'm gone, like I'm so broke. People just pushed my lows at that point as if I don't even have 1,000 rand. You know, I was still living in my double story. You know, I was still paying crazy amounts a month for the house. I was still feeding my family even though I was broke. I was still taking care of my little brother, still paying his school fees. You know what I mean? I still had a goal 7. I was still making...
Then why did your friend give you 20K? Why did he feel the need that, oh, my buddy is so deep down in the dumps, let me give him a 20K? Do you think all of us is stupid, my brother?
I was still living the life that I wanted for myself. It's just that I had to tone down my expenses. You know, I knew that I would go even worse if I don't do it. I never went down broke to an extent where I couldn't even put food on the table, you know. I was still looking after my people. I was still doing what is right. But for me, I considered it broke because I never had enough for myself. I had to calculate. I had to plan and stuff like that, you know. So it's just obviously when people see like, where's the bravas? Where's the what? Ooh, you know, so... and yeah, then they so happened to be right. That was my reason of selling. That I was going through a financial situation and I needed to let go, like any other person would, you know, after making a couple of bad business decisions and bad investments and losing money from trading. It was only fair that I actually make that decision. The only money I really had was a couple of savings from Wealth Kings.
Oh yeah?
And I didn't touch it, bro.
Didn't this guy say no? The money from Wealth Kings, he didn't even get. It went past. Didn't he just say that? Now he had savings. He further elaborated it by saying he can't remember that the money came into a point where he can say, oh, this is what I did with the money. But let's listen.
I think that money's still in my trust till today.
Chilling.
It's not even my trust.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, that's fine. I'm gonna tell you a bit deeper stuff now.
Yeah, no,
yeah,
it's
but
fine.
there's an uncle of mine that it's not even mine. There's an uncle of mine that actually helped me out with a couple of stuff, and I'll be like, take this, man. So I think he still has that, but it wasn't a lot though. I think that savings is like 90K.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, I think. Oh no! It's not there. I buried it. I buried my grandfather with it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we ate. We chopped it. It's taking home. So.
The lies.
It was chopped. Yeah, it was chopped.
Yeah.
The same year, I think. Yeah.
Oh yeah. All right. Then I think we get to 2021, FSCA.
Yeah.
That issue comes up. I think it's one of the things I think I've always wanted to do is sit across from you and actually be like, hey bro, what happened?
So that's not even as complicated as it sounds. So it's not 2021.
Okay.
It comes up which year? It comes up 2019.
Really?
It comes up 2019.
Yeah.
But then they do release a statement after we have an encounter. You
Okay.
know, it's not as hectic as it sounds. So what happens was, as I was growing as a brand, obviously you do affiliate, right? So I don't want to mention too many names. So you do affiliates, and you know, of course, you meet with certain brokers.
He's talking about FLF Global. He was affiliated with FLF Global. And then FLF Global rug pulled the clients. They made off with the money. And then his name got dragged into that FSCA warning, like I told you guys earlier.
Because I'm like, yo, listen, you have a trading community, and we have this kind of platform, rah, rah, rah. And I've always, if I had a partnership or whatever, I've always did partnership based on my terms and what I wanted for my community, what is right for my community, understand? So I got approached by this specific company, and this was my very first time ever being approached. So I'm not even educated in the space, in that line of business. I don't know about licensing and reps and ODPs. I mean, now if you ask me any single thing, I can tell you from the back of my hand. So I don't know anything at that point. And they say, okay, cool. Yeah, we have an agreement. I tell them, look, I speak to my team. I speak to my manager. We're also not educated at all, bro, about all this stuff. You know what I mean? A girl actually I was seeing, bro, tried to warn me at the time. Actually, she's my current baby mama. Yeah, the mother of my child.
Oh yeah.
She was working for an insurance company, and she had I think she had an RE.
Oh, okay.
You know, she was more FSP related. She knew these types of brokers, and you know, certain insurance or pilots must have certain license. She tried to speak to me about it, and she told me, she's like, oh, do they have an FSP license? I'm like, what is that? You know, I'm like, hey, these people, they're telling me they want to cook, so you know what I mean? So it's cool. So yeah, I went on, we did our partnership. 3 months into this, 2 months, 2.5 months, I remember, because this was...
Now that is a big problem for me, because I understood that, because let me just backtrack a moment here. Those of you who watched my content, my live, you would notice that I have said this plenty of times before. To start this platform, I used to look for inspiration to American exposers, your CoffeeZilla, your Spencer Cornelia, to be exact. CoffeeZilla doesn't take sponsorships, but Spencer Cornelia does though. And this is something that always came up for me personally, that if I start my channel and my channel gains traction, I'm also going to get brand deals as well. So I do further research. I get the requirements of what it takes to be able to have an affiliation deal with certain brands, right? And one of the top requirements is that that specific brand must be FSCA regulated. If it's not FSCA regulated, then that means I am promoting an illegal scheme. Because if you have a financial scheme that is not FSCA regulated, any type of proceeds that is made around that scheme is deemed illicit and illegal. So therefore, every single brand deal that I've ever had, you will find that the broker is FSCA regulated. And that's a must, simply to avoid situations like this.
In December, a close friend of mine in the industry, who's actually very educated, who was busy with getting his license at the time, calls me and says, yo, these people that you've got an affiliation with, they don't have 1, 2, 3. I signed up with them. I'm like, what are you talking about? So I'm like, what is that? What does it do? You know, then he explains to me. I promise you, immediately I got so frustrated, and I had a lot of money then. So got so frustrated, I called my assistant. And I'm like, why didn't you do research on this? So I'm attacking her. She doesn't really understand what I'm talking about. She's like, no, but I didn't know that was part of the deal, you know? So immediately I call this lady, her name was Mashudu, the account manager. I call her, I'm like, what is going on? 1, 2, 3, is this true? This person tells me we're in the process of getting it. Then why am we in the process? So yeah, man. Then a couple of weeks later, I got a call. You know, so I was already anticipating. Got a call. Already I had my lawyers already going against what they did, the defamation or whatever crazy stuff that the other business did, because I was already suing the business that I was working with. That I don't know.
He wanted to say defamation. School is important, guys.
With for what they had done, and I wanted them to actually pay me out certain amount of money.
And what's so funny is while he's busy shifting the blame everywhere except himself, he can't even explain what FLF Global did. He can't even explain what FLF Global did. That already lets you know that it was just a case that he rubbed off. And that's it.
Money and stuff like that, they took my time, and I attacked them from a Wealth King's point, not from as a brand, not as an individual. But yeah, man, I actually got an invite. I went to the FSCA. I explained to them, we spoke about it, and yeah, Wealth Kings was running at the time, and I think I had a choice of whether to say, was it me affiliated with the business or Wealth Kings affiliated, and Wealth Kings was running, and I didn't want to taint the business and put a bad name on the business. So I said, no, I made the decision, myself and the team. So then you guys can go ahead and place a warning about this company that did that. And that's what they
Imagine telling people you came from the business perspective, but then halfway through you changed your mind and you decided you're going to take the rep.
did. Then they released a statement, spoke about the business, and at that time I shared it in my channel. You know what I mean? I shared the statement in my channels, in my groups and WhatsApps, letting people know that, yo, guys, these people have actually tricked me, 1, 2, 3. So let's step away. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it wasn't something. That was done in house. It was the whole agreement, the statement going up. It wasn't a thing of maybe like it wasn't like any sort of fine, anything. They were just making it clear. The FSCA making it very clear that the business was not allowed to actually do that, with me at all. And I had that sorted. My community that I had actually explained to them at the time. Yeah, life went on. Yeah, it went on as usual. And then from there, coincidentally, that's when I decided to stop classes.
Okay.
That really annoyed me, and I wanted to learn more information. So I started doing my research about brokers and how they work. And yeah.
I remember we had a phone call in 2021. No, 2022. Around the time, I think after the time I shot the interview with Bands.
Yes.
We had a phone call actually. I remember that time. I was also trying to get you on as well, but you were like, nah.
Not now, yeah.
And you told me something that you're cooking, and you told me that you're working on something right now, and it's going to be big, something that we've never seen before.
Yeah.
Is it RCG?
It's RCG, man. It's RCG.
And this was back in like what, 2020?
Yeah, 3 years ago.
Yeah, possibly. Yeah.
3 years ago. It was. I had a goal always from 2020. From the people that I've taught and I've seen succeed in trading, I started to have a goal to empower traders, to establish brands, to build, to mentor and guide, produce actually the best traders in the country, even if they have to be influential. Teach them how to, if they want to also share skills, teach them how to do that. Teach them how to mentor people. I figured at that point I'd learned how.
It's funny how you're talking about teaching people how to mentor when the ones that you have taught ended up being scammers. Look at Bandile, look at Maps to Sego, look at Cellular Dwaba, all of these people in your immediate circle that are scammers that came out of your hands. So I wouldn't even trust you there, buddy.
How to share the knowledge the best way. I knew that in 2022, I knew that nobody could share knowledge with the next person when it comes to trading better than I did.
Where do you get that conviction from?
Because of my experience of things I've done in my private space. I've taught people that can't even speak English the craziest terms of Forex. I've taught people crazy stuff. And I realized that it's a skill I have. And I go way beyond trading, bro. When you have a session with me, when I teach you how to trade, bro, I go deep. Your first account, I want to see your bank balance. You know what I mean? I go as far as, I want to see what are your expenses. I go. When I say mentoring, that's what I'm saying. I don't think there's Forex mentors. I wasn't mentored. I don't think anybody was mentored. People teaching me
The man is throwing Jason yet again under the bus.
how to trade is not mentoring me. You're just teaching me. You are my teacher. You're sharing class. My science teacher in school was not my mentor. You know what I mean? But what I've done in the industry, bro, I'm mentor, bro. Okay. I come to your house late at night when I attend to your personal families. You know, I mean, given what just the incident just happened now, as you know, Sheikh's got an emergency with me, and I said, let's continue the interview. It's things that I'm used to. I've dealt with that, bro. I get out of my comfort zone. I deal with family issues in your life when I'm mentoring you. I put people back in the right space. I've dealt with depression from other people. I've cured depression to other people while I was struggling with it myself.
Have you paid your victims back yet?
You understand what I'm saying? So I learned that, and I learned that over the years. So in 2022, I knew that nobody will ever build a big trading community like me. If I don't do it, it will never happen. And people thought I was being cocky, so I never shared it. I shared it a couple of times, and with my previous assistant and my best friend, Pablo. And I shared the idea with him, and Pablo knew I was crazy. So when I shared it with him, he's like, "Hey, bro, I know this is gonna take a lot, but do you think you can?" I'm like, "I think I can." We need to build a community in this industry that when people think Forex, they think that. When they see Forex, they think, well, even if it's bad stuff, it's fine. Because I knew very well that if I were to build a community that comes out and takes over and makes an impact like the one we are doing right now, I knew we would have backlashes. I knew we would have some weird cats saying whatever they want to say.
Yeah.
It's okay. I knew that we're never going to be supported, yeah?
Yeah. Before we continue with this one, I'm realizing now I don't want to mix the two together. There's one other issue I must ask about.
Yeah.
Correct me on this. Né? Was it 5 million or was it 3 million of the accounts that were blown at the time? Can I ask that? Yeah. There was a story going out that there was an account of, was it a pooled account?
Yes.
Yes, that was blown.
And it's actually that I asked now, did he pay people back from this pool account? And it was between 3.5 and 3.7. I still remember it very well.
At the time.
A pool account that was blown. Okay, so the affiliations, what actually happened was clients were obviously trading, as usual, trading with the entity, of course, right? And stuff like that. So as we were building up to, was it towards my birthday, I think? Yeah, as we were building up towards my birthday, I had this whole thing that I should do with my foundation when I give money away, Then the business then proposed to me that, okay, listen, now that I think, oh, this is crazy, Anna, they robbed me. So the business then proposed to me, they're like, no, listen, to your community, because we see the amount of passion you have, we're going to give you a certain amount of money want to allocate this money into your trading account, and from there, you could actually...
Do you mean a fake account? I'm just saying.
Actually trade this money and flip it and invest it into your community. I'm like, oh, okay. Then how do we go with the process? Yeah, they didn't just ruffle an entire setup for me, like an entire structure of what I must tell my community and stuff like that. And most of it included copy trading.
Okay.
Included copy trading. So, and copy trading was a bit famous, I think, back then. To copy trading. So I was like, okay, cool. So you guys are putting this. So you guys are investing this money into me as the good trader, and then the clients copy trade, and then they also become profitable. Okay. And I was looking at the money. I think it was, how much was it? 250.
Okay.
250,000, I think.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, cool. And I was like a major key trader, so I was doing my trend lines and stuff. Okay, I caught a couple of good trades.
Did this man not earlier say he did not trade with major key like that? Now he's a major key trader.
The problem became when I was becoming too profitable. And they were no longer complying with me. So we made, like, literally, the account grew to about 3.8 million. So I don't know.
So basically, because one thing I do understand, I think copy trading is like, at that time, was it called MAM or PAM, something like that, 100%. PAM accounts or whatnot, because I know 100%. People deposit money via the broker and then it gets pulled into...
Yeah, they had this back-end platform. They had this crazy back-end platform.
Yeah.
That would allow you, so once you fund it, or whatever, you could just send the money, it just goes directly from...
Yeah.
That's what they had, so that would allow you...
Yeah.
You know, so I think I don't know how it worked in the back office or whatever, but But yeah, the account actually grew. So my biggest concern till today, I was always asking myself is, did they really give me 250, or are those the initial deposits? I still ask myself those questions. But why would it be on the dot? You know? You know what I mean? So anyway, so I traded the account anyway. We took it like crazy. Like I genuinely like camped at home, you know? I was just trading, I was sharing all the progress. And privately, before I could scare off the community, privately I was already having an argument with them. We're fighting, going back and forth. I'm like, at least pay out at least R1 million. You know, pay out at least R1 million and per trading, yeah, pay out at least or something. But only to find out that all of those things were like for gazy. I don't know. Like it's as if it never existed. And because I remember towards
What did I just say? But there was people behind this that paid for a service.
the end, when we had the actual fight, like a big fight, was when I was saying, okay, where's the initial? Can I have my personal initial profits? Because I also had put in money. You know, I think I had put in about like 20. You know what I mean? So can I have at least mine, like me? Okay, perfect. Let's leave that whole. Me personally, of this 30 whatever. Can I have, you know? Because to the turnover, we just calculate. However, how many of us were in actually this copy trading or whatever, and then can I have my? I actually just wanted my actual profit because I realized that I actually had made a lot of money, and I couldn't get that. Couldn't get that. Things hit the fan. Yeah, man. That was a crazy thing. So I had to go back now and explain. Luckily, it was very minimum. It was like a minimum community. It was like a couple of people.
Yeah, I was literally just about to ask about
Yeah,
the
it
community.
was like limited. It was only people. Yeah, people that actually trusted the whole thing. It was they never really trusted it. You know, I was also very skeptical of that because till today I don't think there's a brokerage firm that there is copy trading to that extent where. Oh, well, there is a broker now that I know that does actually allows clients to transfer their money from one trading account to another trading account. There is a broker that allows that. So, yeah, well, I guess it's common now, but it's happening legally at least. You know, they were doing it very crazy. So, yeah, well, that actually affected my brand a lot.
Yeah. Because, you know, these things happen over time and they stick with you. And I have to sit down with you and be like,
Bro,
leadership.
I see these things and I'm like, you know, the thing is, and I'm always open to speak about them because I've always run a legitimate, like, you know, a straight business, you know, always been. That's why I don't teach anymore for a price. Because those scenes, they kind of diluted my purpose. You know, bro, regardless of whether I went broke and sold the Brabus or whatever, it doesn't take away from the skill that I have. And I've always I grew a passion to teach that. You know, and when I realized that what people are saying now is affecting my brand, I was like, you know, it's fine. Once I've got money again, I will teach, but for free, which is what I'm doing now, yeah. Yeah.
Now you're going to have a whole lot of people knocking at your door being like,
yeah, if it's for free, I know they can never hold me against anything. You know, when people, they feel like they're putting money, it's like they're your tenants.
yeah, they own you now.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, okay, no, let's get back. RCG.
Yeah.
Because I think that it's become a very prominent piece of your story, if I can put it like that, because I think it's become because when people see you, they see the brand as well.
Yeah.
You know,
That sounds cool. Okay.
you know, you basically the face of the brand, but you how did it come about that you guys actually? Because obviously you told me you were cooking something, but how did it actually come about?
And it was a very easy thing. So I was already coming from a very bad experience previously with a very bad partnership, affiliation that I had. So I was very nonchalant as to who I'm working with, and I didn't want to work with anybody. I was gonna build the community on my own because you're building a trading community. You know, you're building a home for people that they can come through and feel free to learn and grow. A circle of people that are going to influence each other in the right way, financially, in all possible, ways. So that was my plan. I had this all written down. I still have it till today. And in the process, amazing, bro. I meet a close mentor of mine introduces me to an amazing guy. His name is Tahani Chivamba, I think. Yeah. We call him Hold It Lizzy.
Yeah.
So who's also been trading just a bit longer than I've been. He's been trading, I think, from 2014 or 15. Way back, actually. Way back, like ACM Gold days, Yeah. So he introduced me to him, and Which I'm like, in my head, I'm like, I should have met this guy way back. Because he seems like he's just like me, but knows the more educated side of the more powerful side of it. You know, I met him and he had been trading for years, had his own stuff in key, you know, had his own license. He understood the industry for what it is. He knew the back ends from robots and everything, you know. So it was really nice to meet somebody and at the time he also was teaching people. He used to also taught people and stuff like. So we met and we had the same vision. We sat down and when we spoke from the very first day, I think we clicked, man. We had two visions that aligned. Is to change the forex trading industry for the better. Is to create an environment, a home for forex traders in South Africa. We wanted to create for people to feel welcomed when you are within the royal circle, when you're within that RCG space. You know, the only fear I did have is I didn't want to limit people to that.
Okay.
I didn't want people to feel limited, so I shared that, you know, my view on that, and I said this is about building a community. You know, it's about making people realize that forex is real. It's chasing away the doubts from the matrix that just matriculated. They must understand that when serious and taken professionally, forex can be a career, you know, and you can't do that by just one person speaking. You have to build.
There's still one chapter that I wanted to get to, and it's this one here.
Money, that's why I'm renting, or I'm renting because I don't have money. You get what I'm saying? Because either or, so buying a car and renting a vehicle, one to the other would need you to have the same amount of money.
Let me just clarify there, right? Whenever people say you are renting something, they aren't necessarily meaning renting, right? Whenever people are saying you are renting something, it means you have bought it on finance, which is why you guys hide your number plate so that we can't pull up your documents so that we can see on your RC1, okay, owner, that's maybe you or your company, but title holder would be the bank or the dealership that you financed this thing through. So, when people say renting, they aren't referring to the renting. They are referring to you financing this thing, paying it off monthly. That is what they mean. And most of you guys, the importance of that though is, most of you guys say you buy things cash, and then we later find out that, nah man, this thing has been financed through the bank the whole time.
So if not more. So I'll make an example. So renting my M4. Let's say my M4 was rented, right? So if you check on the basic renting stuff, you're looking at about, even with a good deal with Avis or whatever, renting whatever people, you're looking at about at least one. I don't know if you know the person is your friend, or I don't know.
Yeah.
You're looking at about at least like 1.5, 1K, which is near impossible. Go check on Avis how much it is to rent an M4. You're looking at about 13,000-14,000 rand a day. I'm trying to make.
And the thing is, right, they know exactly when we say you are renting, we are meaning financing, because dealerships don't rent out cars like Avis do, okay? And they don't go and stand for pictures by car rental places. They go and stand by dealerships. So they are pushing this renting narrative, knowing very well that people are meaning financing through the bank, because it sounds really far-fetched that someone would be paying a daily rate for a car. So that is why they are bringing up that car. Just to be clear, just to clarify that for you guys.
Take a realistic example and I say, let's just say I was renting the M4 every day for 1,000 rand, which does not exist anyway. Because even I was in Cape Town and I rented a Polo Vivo from Avis and I was paying 1.5. Understand? For Polo Vivo, menu 1.5. So let's just make a delusional example. Let's say renting an M4 was 1K a day, 30 days in a month. That is 30,000 rand a day, right? An M4. I've got a 335 that I've built to a full on M3. Let's say that one, since it's less than an M4, is 700 a day. So looking at so does that even make like realistic sense that I wake up every single day spending about 30,000 rand on an M4 with a rental. And this example I've just made is unrealistic. Because in an M4, you're looking at about plus minus 11,000 rand a day of rental with a deposit.
A hot deposit.
A serious deposit.
A hot one.
A hot deposit, a rental. And you can't, we wrap rentals. The cars are fully wrapped. I do exhaust pipes, I work on the engines. My Range Rover right now, it blew, I put in.
That's another thing as well. When he says he works on the exhausts, he works on the engines, I feel like that is cap. But when it comes to wrapping, right? And you guys can go and find out if I'm lying or not, but what I'm going to explain to you now is going to make perfect sense. We know that there's many companies out there who has fleets of cars. Right now, these cars aren't purchased outright cash one time. Reason being is because they finance these cars so that, saying now it's 2024, now the year shifts from 2024 to 2025, that specific car model has a new release. Then they trade in the old models for the newer models. But now the newer models is going to come to them blank. And they need to make that car so that when you look at the car, you can realize this is for that and that company. So what do? They put a wrap on the car. Also, furthermore, one forex trader that wasn't scared of admitting the fact that he finances his cars through the bank, Trunic, you guys must remember that I visited Trunic, right? Now he admitted to financing that G63 AMG. And if you look on my content, you will see that that thing had a company logo wrap on. So would he be able to do that if that wasn't permitted? You guys need to start waking up. You guys need to start waking up.
Tuned it like crazy, and then it blew my top. So the top it's gone in for some repairs, and actually I have to get a new engine.
So is it coming back?
Oh, this thing is gone.
I don't believe that. I honestly don't believe
Preparing for this interview, I saw a lot. I was just like, what?
No, my Range Rover was in, man. For what it's worth, I don't know if I'm sharing it, but I'm sharing it with you because, I'm comfortable now. My Range Rover was in. I blew the top, man.
Oh, yeah?
I blew the top. I did some crazy work on that, on the engine, and then... And I blew the top. It went in. The guy picked it up. I think they saw it on a truck, actually, on a flatback.
Oh, was it?
That's how that's how people know that is.
I didn't see that.
Yeah, on a flatback or something.
Yeah.
It's just we just ordered the engine. So that's a Luma, by the way, an autobiography. So I decided to get a bit of a more of a 2019 engine. So we placed the order. It was an arm and a leg. It's just close to about 500,000 rand for the engine, just above 500,000, like 5 something for the new engine. So we placed on. It should arrive. Like it was obviously festives and stuff, so it should be around sometime end of this month. Should arrive. You guys gonna start with the work next month, and then hopefully it'll be back. I wanna change it to green though because it's gold.
Oh yeah.
And then what else?
Pay attention. He just gave you the game there. He wants to make it green because it was gold. When he comes back, he's going to come back with a green Land Rover, Range Rover, right? Saying that this is his old one. When it's not. We already peep you, bruh. We already peep you. You want to make us believe that you moved out of that 75k a month home due to affordability reasons, yet you spent 500,000 on a new engine. Yay!
Yeah, man, the cost thing. Like, no. The rental thing is delusional thing, bro.
Okay.
It's what people that fail to work on themselves and achieve for themselves and.
Because I feel that is just going to be a more condescending talk. But I've made my point on the renting situation. It's never that we are pointing to renting directly. It's that we are pointing to financing, because there's a whole lot of you guys that say you bought your cars cash and then it's actually financed. And that's how it gets repossessed. But guys, this has been a really, really interesting podcast episode. I don't think any more value can be extracted out of here, or I think there might still be an inconsistency or two left that I can get out of there, but I'm telling you guys can point it out to me if you feel like I left anything out. But this was really entertaining, nah? How stupid of leadership to want to shift all of the blame for what happened by FLF Global to everyone except himself, because like he's blaming his assistant for her mishap with the research, he should have done the research as a boss himself, and he didn't do it because obviously he was not interested in doing things right. He was just interested in the bag, and that is what it is. I can't wait to hear what you guys have to say in the comment section. Please do make your voices heard. Let me hear what you guys have to say. I'll see you guys in my next video. Hey everyone, are you looking to get into trading but is worried about the high risks? Let me introduce you to IFX Broker's Cent account. With a low minimum deposit, you can start trading with real money while minimizing your risk. It's perfect for beginners and those wanting to test new strategies. Plus, you'll benefit from the advanced trading platform and dedicated support team. Start your trading journey today with IFX Brokers and turn your ambitions into reality. Check the link in my description to get started.